How do humans capture time? Are memories the only way we are remembered? Is the image of a fleeting dream lost? Definitely not, but not since the birth of the invention of the first known camera. Let's take a look from the very beginning, way back. In the 4th century BC, the Han Chinese philosopher Mozi documented a natural optical phenomenon known as camera obscura. It did not have a practical purpose until the Renaissance age, but then in 1816 the first photograph was taken by French Monsieur Niepce, an inventor who developed telegraphy. Niepce used a small camera using a silver chloride coated piece of paper. After his demise, his partner Louis Degois accomplished to create the world's first photographic process to be publicly available, known as daguerreotype, in 1839. After the successful ability to capture images, cameras began evolving rapidly. In 1859, English inventor Thomas Sutton patented the first panoramic camera. Using a wide-angle lens made of a water-filled glass sphere, photography took a massive leap towards modern photography. In 1888, with the introduction of the Kodak by George Eastman using celluloid film, the first camera was built using a simple wooden box and had one shutter speed with a fixed focus lens. Customers of the Kodak camera could purchase a preloaded film of 100 exposures. They would send the roll of film back to the factory for development. Eastman then introduced the Brownie camera, the first mass-marketed camera in the world, in 1900. The Brownie remained in production until the 1960s. The first 35mm cinefilm camera was introduced by German engineer Oskar Bartnach and was commercialized as Leica in 1925. After World War II, the use of the single-lens reflex camera, the SLR, was popularized even though they had been around since the 19th century. Scientists and journalists used this advanced technology to shrink the size of modern cameras because of the more accurate viewfinder and became the go-to cameras for expert photographers by the 1950s and the 1960s. After 1945, Japanese SLR cameras took popularity from Germans and the Soviets' early SLRs, which eventually birthed the two mammoth companies we know today as Nikon and Canon. In 1947, Edwin Land created a one-step process, the Polaroid camera, for developing and printing photographs in about 1 minute by applying the principle of diffusion transfer. This produces what is captured by the camera's lens and places it into a photosensitive surface that is both film and photo. Polaroid instant cameras were used in scientific labs, experiments, or medical tests. In 1948, instant cameras, known as a Polaroid, were introduced to the market. With even higher pricing at launch, their easy nature and ability to print and see images in minutes made them popular with families. Automatic exposure followed a similar path, first pricey but soon gathering some steam among customers and dropping in price over time. The development of an electrically controlled automated exposure meter removed the need to alter shutter speeds and apertures. Automatic focusing, also known as autofocus, and automatic strobe lighting became popular. The transistors for electronic control circuits were substituted, allowing cameras to become even smaller. Then in 1969, the digital camera began with Eugene F. Lally at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, wanted to help astronauts take pictures of the planets and stars while traveling in space. The Sharp J SH-04, the only 0.11 megapixel camera available in Japan in 2000. It didn't take long for every major phone maker to introduce cameras in their headsets. The first generation iPhone was introduced in 2007. It included just a 2 megapixel back camera, no front camera and no video recording capabilities. Since then, smartphone cameras have grown in sophistication, having a substantial influence on the camera and picture equipment industries. However, most photographers still continue to use DSLR cameras, which began outselling film cameras in 2003. The first mirrorless camera, the Epson RD1, made its debut in 2004, but it proved to be too ahead of its time, as it would be a few more years before mirrorless cameras gained a foothold in the camera market. Canon launched the EOS 5D in 2005, the first full-frame consumer-priced DSLR. This camera set the bar for quality among digital cameras. In 2013, Sony made a big jump in its mirrorless camera offerings with Alpha 7 and Alpha 7R. These were the first mirrorless camera to feature a full-frame sensor. At this point, mirrorless cameras became full-fledged contenders with prosumer-level DSLRs. Modern digital camera features continue to amaze people, especially when they are compared with the cruder camera versions of photographic history. Some of these features include burst shots, or having several photos taken at intervals, capture timers for automatic shooting without anyone pressing the capture button, built-in features and color selection, mood and shooting options, and several others. Some cameras even have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connectivity, which allows for photo file transfer to other devices and is easier for sharing. Truly, cameras have come a long way from being something used to view a solar eclipse to gadgets which are now used to share works of art or even the most random of captured moments. From being used for scientific purpose to being used for minute-by-minute selfies or group pictures, the history of the camera has truly seen many advancements through time and has become a part of how people today preserve memories, in both digital and printed form. Looking at how technology is advancing, it won't be long before huge innovations enter the world of photography. Who knows, maybe we'll be taking holographic images in the near future.
Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.